Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a tag. We're doing it in a ball cap and bad hair. Where's my bad hair cap? Here's my bad hair day cap. Woo! We're going to switch hats to this. So I saw Meliston on the Ms. Kristen 321 on her channel for this Meliston card chat. They did this tag, which was the throwback tag, and I laughed and had so much fun watching that I'm going to do that for you. Now, number one, what year were you born? 1962. Number two, do you have any pictures of yourself when you were younger? Show them. Okay, hang on, I gotta go get them. Number three, what TV shows did you grow up watching? Gosh. Okay. The Brady Bunch, Carol Burnett, the Sonny and Cher Show. I'm just naming off my favorite ones. What about Columbo? I loved Columbo's. Green Acres, the Beverly Hillbillies, Mary Tyler Moore, the Dick Van Dyke Show. There was a lot of those probably spanning a course of a few years, but I didn't like shows that other people did. Like my parents loved MASH, and I didn't like MASH. My brother loved Hogan's Heroes, and I didn't. I'm sure a lot of others will come to me after the camera is not going anymore, but those are some of the ones that just popped off the top of my head. Number four, what did you want to be when you were younger? A singer. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be, until I was like 15 even, I still wanted to be. I can remember being 15 years old and still singing with my hairbrush in the mirror to Heart, Straight On. I love that song. That's the last song I remember doing that to. That is a lie. I was in a lip sync contest after I graduated from high school singing Betty Davis Eyes, Kim Carnes. So I guess a little bit of me has always wanted to be a singer. Gosh, I bet none of you would have ever guessed that. Number five, what were your favorite toys to play with as a child? Definitely Barbie. I loved Barbie. I had a few Barbies. I had Barbie, I had Skipper, I had Ken, I had the Dream House, all these clothes. My grandma made me clothes for my Barbie, and my grandma also had Midge at her house. So even if I couldn't take my Barbies to grandma's house, Midge was there. And so I would play with Midge. Gosh, it was such a different time. I was just telling my son, you know, about how we would play in the woods. We had a woods across from our house that seemed like a mysterious big forest. And you know, it actually went for several miles deep. Now there are condominiums where they tore part of those woods out. But back then we had a fort, and so we would play just, you know, making up stuff, you know, and like some of the neighbors had gotten new furniture, so they gave us their couch, their kitchen table and stuff, and we made a fort and that had these things in it, and we would just play, you know, house or whatever in the fort. Chrissy. I had a Chrissy doll. This is really good, right? The whole purpose of Chrissy was that her hair grows.
This is beautiful Chrissy, the doll with beautiful hair that grows and grows. Turn the knob and her hair's shorter. Press her tummy and you can make her hair grow. And you can brush it and fix it different ways.
And when I got it, I like pulled her hair all the way out and cut it. And that defeated the purpose of the doll, which kind of made my mom and dad not very happy. I think I actually did this on Christmas morning right after I got the doll. I did this to all of the girls in the neighborhood that would bring their Barbies over to play, and I cut their Barbies' hairs. I didn't do this to my own Barbies, but I do recollect doing this to Tracy and Kathy and my friends when we were young. They'd come over to play Barbies, and I would take scissors and cut off all their Barbies' hair. And it wasn't to be mean. I just thought I could give them a good haircut. So maybe I secretly wanted to be a hairdresser. I heard Melissa say the same thing, and I laughed till I thought I was going to die because, yeah, I did that too. Sound off below if you cut all your doll's hair off or all your friends' doll's hairs off. Kristen said, and I agree, my Easy Bake Oven. In fact, I was telling her a story not too long ago about I had gotten my grandson an Easy Bake Oven for his birthday, and I was telling him, and you know, I didn't know if he still wanted it or not. He wanted this Easy Bake Oven, but I didn't know if he still wanted it. So in order to find out if I had made a good purchase or if I should return it, I told him this story. Story goes like this. I had an Easy Bake Oven, okay, when I was little, and I had a Mr. Potato Head. Now, you guys might remember that in the 60s and the 70s, the Mr. Potato Heads were different than they are now. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head had felt, like Mr. Potato Head had a felt mustache. So now everything is plastic. But, you know, the potatoes were different. They actually kind of looked like potatoes. And I took my Mr. Potato Head and I put Mr. Potato Head in the Susie Bake Oven. I think it was called Susie Bake. I don't think it was called Easy Bake. The Easy Bake, Susie Bake, whatever it was, I put Mr. Potato Head in there and baked him. I bought a Mr. Potato Head, brought it home, and was playing it with my grandson and kind of telling him the story to see if he still wanted the Easy Bake. And he jumped. He took the bait. He's like, I want one of those. And I go, okay, well, you know, if you ever get one, don't bake your Mr. Potato Head in it. Also, to mention another doll, I loved my Janie West doll. Do you guys remember Jane West? Jane and Johnny West? My brother had Johnny West. I had Jane West. She was like totally plastic. Her clothes were plastic. She had a horse too. We could be here all day listening to the things that I loved about my childhood. Number 6, what was the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? It doesn't say as a child. I've done a lot of embarrassing things. Let's just go with elementary school. So in elementary school, I think I was in the 5th grade. And this was so embarrassing because there was this boy that I really liked. And I was trying to impress him. So we were playing on recess. We were playing as a group line soccer. Basically, you got kids over here and kids over here. Imagine Red Rover. Is that how that goes? Red Rover, send whoever on over. And then they have to run and try and break through the line. That game, right? Did you ever play that? All right, well, so same formation for line soccer. Except you've got 2 people, like, and they're trying to kick the ball through the line. So Mary gets it in her head. I can so win this game. I'm so ingenious. Here's what I'll do. Instead of trying to kick it through the line where I knew I wasn't going to get through, I start kicking the ball down, down, down to the end of the line. And then, boom, where there was no kids, I start kicking the ball. And I keep running and kicking the ball, running and kicking the ball. And they're all yelling, come back, come back. I thought I was really smart, okay? And I made myself look like an idiot to everyone in the class and the boy that I was trying to impress. Number 7, 3 songs that you loved as a child. Okay, gosh, guys, music has always been such a big part of my life. Did you guys ever have a show and tell? So show and tell, it has a record in it that tells a story, and it's got a little strip that you put down in it, and it advances like on a TV, and it tells you the story on the record, but on the other side was always a song. Like Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies or whatever. And I loved those. And I would just spin all around the kitchen, which was waxed, so it was real slippery. And I would just spin all around the kitchen dancing to the songs on the flip side of the show and tell records. Let's go back to my first record player. The first 3 45s that pop off the top of my head, because we would get an allowance and Mom would let us buy a record on allowance day. And so I had some 45s. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert, because it would like did that part and then it would switch. You know, there'd be thunder in it and stuff, and then they'd be like, we're so sorry, Uncle Albert, we're so sorry if we caused you any pain. And then it goes, hands across the water, water. Was it the Beatles? I'll have to look that up. That song sticks out. How about this one? I mean, I was diverse in my listening, even back with my first record player. This one I played and played and played. It was one of my very first records that I got. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. It's Lynn Anderson. Okay, Rose Garden by Lynn Anderson. Oh, I bet I got one you guys have never heard. My grandma gave me this song. I can't think of who it's by. I'll try and look it up. I bet you have never heard it before. It's called Skip a Rope. And if you listen to the words of this song, you'd be like, whoa. And see, it goes, boy, we're reaching now. Skip a rope, skip a rope. Oh, listen to the children while they play. Now ain't it kind of funny what the children say? Skip a rope, daddy hates mommy, mommy hates dad. Last night should have heard the fight they had. Skip a rope, skip a rope. I can't remember exactly. Something like that. You know, I'll try and link it below if I can find it, right? Okay, but my grandma gave me that record. I'm not really sure why. Maybe she liked it. Number 8. Funny Halloween costumes and what did you dress up as for Halloween as a child? Gosh, the first one that pops into my head is Raggedy Ann. My mom made me, my brother and sister, Raggedy Ann and Andy costumes. So my sister was like the miniature one because she was just little. And I don't know how old we were. I'll see if I can find that picture. So she made these, and I remember her making the wigs. She took pantyhose and strung orange or red, one of the two, yarn through, sewing these wigs for this costume. And I loved that. We were so awesome. And of course, the 3 of us would go trick-or-treating then, and I'm sure everyone, I don't remember that part, but I'm sure everybody was like, oh, aren't they so cute? You know, my brother, he loved candy, and I wasn't a kid who did. I like candy now, but back then, I could take it or leave it. So I would love to, like, hoard my candy till my brother's was all gone, and then I'd be like, I got a Snicker bar, and you don't. I'll give it to you. Psych. I still do that with Shy Guy. Number 9, something weird you did as a child. Okay, how about this? We'll take it all the way back to kindergarten. My hair's driving me crazy. I have never seen anybody in my whole life do this. I don't know why I did this, I mean, where that idea came from. But when I was in kindergarten, I can remember getting in trouble. And I remember in the Meliston video, they were saying, or one of the two, I don't know if it was this Throwback Tag or the other one they did, but in one of their videos they were saying that the things that you recall from your childhood vividly are things that traumatized you. So I have a lot about kindergarten that traumatized me then, because I've got quite a few memories from kindergarten and I was in trouble in all of them. So in this day I got in trouble because we were coloring, and I would take the crayons and I would color so hard you're practically breaking the crayons, making it really, really dark. And then I would take my fingernails and scrape the color off, and it left behind pigment, and it was beautiful. I thought. We should do that and see if I still think it's beautiful. But I thought I thought I was making the best thing ever. And the teacher came over there and she was not pleased, okay, because I had a big mess all around me. If you can imagine, you're coloring a picture and then you're scraping all the crayon scrapings off and they're everywhere, and then of course they're getting smeared by my elbows and stuff. It was a mess. So I guess that was kind of a weird thing that I've never seen anybody in my whole life do. Number 10 and last one, what is the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when you were a child? And again, I'm going with the first things that pop into my head. I remember where we lived, there was a creek. Now, when I was little, though, this creek I thought was a river. As a grown adult, I go look at it and like, that like has enough water to put in a teaspoon. No, I'm serious. It was just a little stream. But it has a little bridge and then concrete, what do you call it, embankments or something that come off of it. And then there's like a tunnel that it goes through underneath the road. And we used to go down there and play. Well, we weren't really supposed to be down there, okay? But we used to go down there and play, and there were crawdads in there. Anyway, so I guess it was, you know, enough water that crawdads could be in it, but not enough you could drown in or anything. I mean, if you stepped in it, maybe you get your ankle wet. Okay, not a big deal. But as a little child, I was scared to death that I was going to drown in it. And so I can remember being down there to catch the Sunday school bus. And I slipped. I had gone over the side of the guardrail, and I slipped in my patent leather shoes, and so I reached back and I grabbed the guardrail. So I was hanging from the guardrail down the cement embankment, like if I let go, I'm going to fall in the creek. Right? And I remember thinking I would die. And I mean, the worst thing that would happen is I would have got my butt wet when I landed in it, but I certainly wouldn't have drowned because it wasn't that big. Sound off below to some of these answers. I'd love to learn more about you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't like it at all. I don't care. Don't bother me. It's engagement either way. If you are part of the Fritzy family, then please hit the red subscription button, and then you can be. Also, there's a bell right there, and I really need you to ring that bell. You know why you gotta ring my bell, ring my bell. You know why? Because if you don't, I probably am not going to show up in your feed, and that's really kind of horrible, considering that you subscribed to my channel because you liked it. Now that we got those things out of the way, I'd like to thank you for being the best part of the Fritzy family. Make no mistake about it, you are. If you're not having a blessed day, please go out and be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye, and I'm out.
Darn, you tend to get a little shaky if you don't eat. I'm shaky. Oh, does that remind you of shook? I'm so shook. You know what? If anybody else says that, did you see that on my Instagram? I might have food in my teeth. Yeah. Why does everybody keep saying shook?
If one more person says they're shook, this is what's gonna happen. I'm not kidding.
It's peach nectarine. Oh my gosh. Woo-hoo! When you're used to drinking water and you taste something that has carbonation in it, it tears your throat out. Ooh! I need to take a pill. Pill poppin'. Yes, indeed, pill poppin'. For you and me, pill poppin'. That was so wrong. Today's video is brought to you by bad hair. Long, beautiful hair. No, it's not. It's longer than normal. Totally messed up hair. Oh, guys, I love this. This is not a favorites video. Put it up. Who cares? It has nothing to do with a flashback tag. Number 1. What year were you born? I was born in 1962. In the year 1962. You can't do it, can you? You can't even sit here and answer 10 questions without getting... Sorry about the train. Can't do anything about it. I've sent them a memo. I've told them, look, I'm filming. Please stop running the trains. But they won't do it. So I don't even know what to tell you guys. Choo-choo!